Well, good morning, church, and welcome to the Monday Morning Musing. I'm Pastor Dave, and this is the video for January 27th. One of the basic concepts of the Christian faith is the twofold idea that, one, Christ followers are to hold themselves apart from the sinfulness of society, and two, we are to be a positive influence in the world. Now, on the one hand, we are to live as foreigners in society, refusing to conform to the pattern of this world, as Paul put it. And on the other hand, we are to be salt and light. We are called to carry the gospel of salvation to the ends of the earth. Well, this set of contrasting goals is often summed up in the phrase, be in the world, but not of it. Now, that particular phrase does not appear in Scripture, but the idea is deeply woven throughout the New Testament. And as Christians, we rightly strive to live our lives in accordance with that principle. It seems to me there are two ways in which our striving can fall short. The first way, and the most obvious, is for us to become too much of the world, to get caught up in secular things, to take the values of the world around us as our own. We face a lot of influences that pull at our pride and play on our need to feel connected and included, or appeal to our natural weaknesses. And this can result in believers who try to merge their Christian faith with the ways of society. This is called syncretism, and it never works. Syncretists like to pretend that if Jesus were on the scene today, he would be in favor of whatever their own pet secular preferences might be. I've even seen that tendency go so far as to hear a pastor preaching from the pulpit that if Jesus Christ were walking the earth today, he would be in favor of abortion. Other believers simply drift into conformity with the morals of the times. They take the easy path. Well, any hiker can tell you that the easy path always leads downhill. And I would add that nobody ever seems to drift into holiness. The ways of the world are not the ways of God, and no amount of mental gymnastics will ever change that. In fact, God himself, speaking through Isaiah, says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways are not my ways." That seems pretty clear. Now, the other, less talked about way to fail to live out the premise of in the world but not of it is to be so conscious of not being of the world that we pull away and disengage. Now, maybe that's a sort of defense mechanism. We protect ourselves from the world by separating ourselves from it. History records many people who withdrew from society in an effort to avoid its temptations. Sometimes these people act individually and become hermits, or join with a few other like-minded people and become monks, or perhaps even withdraw as a whole subgroup, like the Amish. This can be extremely harmful. It seems to me that a great many cults isolate themselves that way, sometimes with tragic consequences. I'm thinking of the Branch Davidians in Waco and the mass suicide at Jonestown, Guyana. But even if pulling away from the secular doesn't lead to some sort of cultish behavior, holding yourself apart from the world ends your influence over the world. You cannot be a light in the darkness if you hide yourself away. Friends, the plain truth is that we are called to be two things at once: in and not of. Both are commanded. Both are necessary to our mission. It can be a very difficult balance, but that is where the Lord put us. And may we prayerfully, mindfully, and joyfully make the very best of it. God bless you all.